In this video, I'm going to show you step-by-step instructions on how to replace an obliterated front screen on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. The same will apply for the Google Pixel 9 Pro, probably the 9 as well. I'm going to start by placing it face down on the hot plate. We've got it set to 85 degrees C. If you don't have a hot plate, a heat gun or hairdryer will achieve the same effect, although it might do it a little bit slower. I'm going to leave this here for the next 5 minutes. Like I say, it's set to 85 degrees C. After that time, then we'll come back and get that screen off. So now that it's had 5 minutes on the heat plate, I have seen another video online where they take this off and they make a bit of a meal of it. So just be careful when you're removing this screen. What I would recommend is doing it the same way we do every time, obviously avoiding anywhere where there's cracks on it. We're going to get a suction cup. We're going to pop it on the bottom third of the screen where there's no cracks. If there's cracks on it, then you'll probably want a bit of tape on it. But we'll put it on there. Then we'll get the door coat blade, a really thin razor blade, single-sided so you don't slice your thumb up. And then we're just going to pop it up. I'm putting pressure on it. Just putting pressure on. The suction cup's come off because it has got a crack on it. And just apply that pressure like that. It's going to lift it up. And whilst you're lifting it, add some alcohol, 99.9% pure isopropyl alcohol. And look, that's coming away now. The screen's all separating. We've not actually delaminated the screen or anything. It's come away how I'd want it to. If the screen was in one piece, then I'd be confident that we wouldn't damage this anymore. So just obviously be careful. Like sometimes you might remove a screen and it might be suitable for refurbishment. This one, obviously not. It's always best to take it off with that in mind. So once we've got that, I've got the guitar pick, the iFixit blue pick. I'm just going to run a bit of alcohol, run that up, a little bit of alcohol, and then we'll run it up a little bit more. It can be difficult around heavily cracked areas, but this screen does have like a little plastic bezel stuck to the back of the screen, so it's got a little frame that's holding it all together really. We move back down and around the screen, and we're just going to take our time, make sure we're well under the display and not in between the layers of that frame and the glass, because that's when it will separate. And we're going to work our way around. I imagine that it's clipped in at the top, similar to iPhones and other Google Pixel devices. So we've got a couple of options here. The best one's going to be to do the same as we did on the bottom of it and just pry it out, pop it out of where it's clipped in, and it'll make it a lot easier to, instead of sort of snapping it out of the display, sorry, out of the frame, it'll work a bit better like that. Now I believe this opens up from right to left, just like that, and then we've got a little connector here. Well, let's take this over to the desk where we're going to clean the rest of it up and get it ready for the new screen. So now that we've got the screen open, we're going to be concentrating on this area down at the bottom. To stop the screen from falling over and damaging the cable, I'm just going to use a mug to keep it propped up. And then with this little clip-y thing, we're going to get the tweezers, and we just need to pry it out. They're always awkward, these, and it always pings off. But once you've got it pried out, it looks a little bit like that. And all you want to do at this point is literally lift up the screen like that, and it comes away. Try and avoid like sticking the tweezers in that bit there, because it just gets a bit messy. It's a little bit too deep to be going in with that. So I just usually pull these cables on these pixels like that, and it comes away. At this point, for me, the screen is done with. Now, depending where you've bought your part, it may or may not come with the fingerprint sensor. If it doesn't have the fingerprint sensor on it, then you will need to move it across from this screen onto the new one. However, I'm not going to cover that in this video because I don't need to, and it's a faff. All I need to do is make sure that this frame is nice and clean now. So to do that, I'm just going to go with the tweezers first of all, and I'm going to peel off and pick off as much of this adhesive as I possibly can. If it doesn't work out too well with that, which it's not in all honesty, I'm going to come in with the spinny spindle tool, and I'm just going to run it down those edges, and that just sort of picks off the adhesive for you. Makes it a lot easier. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description or comment below on where you can buy one of these. They're not usually expensive, but it's an invaluable tool for any serious phone repair guy. And yeah, just makes removing adhesive off Samsungs and even iPhones a lot easier. So So I would highly recommend one. What we've been left with here is a bit of dust and mess. I don't know what the owner of this phone does for work, but it's dusty work. So what I'm going to do is get the isopropyl alcohol now again. I'm going to run it along the edge, and then you want one of these nice horsehair stiff brushes. I'm going to really clean up and remove as much dirt, grime and dust as we possibly can. Once you've got one edge, keep working around, move on to the next edge. And it's important, because we're going to put a genuine adhesive on this, we want to give it the best chance of sticking as we possibly can. So I'm just going to really get into the nook and cranny of that edge and clean it up good and proper. As for that dust what went everywhere around that front camera, I'm going to use the dust blower, and then we're going to use this little detailing brush. I call it a tickling brush, just because it tickles if you rub it on your nose, and get those last fine bits of dust off this like carbony paper stuff. The new screen looks something like this. When you buy these genuine and new, then it comes with the adhesive already attached to it. It's also got a little bit of black film on there, what we need to remove. So I'm going to get that off before I forget. There's nothing worse than sticking the screen on only to realise that the front camera is black, and that's usually because the adhesive's been left on there. And then we've got another little bit what needs to be taken off just here. And then one thing that's always worth checking with these is just have a good look at this where the fingerprint connector connects, to make sure that it's sat properly. For some reason, the Pixel Screen Factory just don't connect these good, and it causes lots of touch problems and malfunction problems with the device. As long as that's all good and ready, then we can offer up that screen cable up to the connector and then apply some pressure, make sure that it's stuck and connected very well, and then we just need to get hold of that one little connector thing here, slide it under, push it down. You might need some tweezers to help you do this, and then we can re-secure it. My fingers are probably in the way when I'm doing that, but just make sure that it secures down, it looks good, and then we can turn it on. We're out of juice, how unfortunate, but at least we got the logo. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, I'm going to peel off the blue film and re-secure it, and then we'll worry about charging it off camera. But I want to get this wrapped up now and finished, so just make sure that you peel all the blue adhesive off, make sure that it's a nice clean surface, and I'll probably even just give that front camera one last little dust blow like that before I offer it up. Make sure there's nothing obstructing the screen being reinstalled, and then you can just push it down, re-secure everything, and then I'll bang it on charge before I test it. In terms of re-securing the screen, like, because we've cleaned it up a lot, just applying a good bit of pressure onto these edges is going to be plenty of adhesion for this display. It's not going to be any problem at all. The good thing about these ones is you don't have to calibrate them anymore. It's done already, so that's it. I can't test it. I can't show you that the fingerprint's working because it's got somebody else's fingerprint on there. But I can show you that the screen's working. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.